Hey, well, hello everybody. I just want to do a little more detailed video on these particular fish. Okay, your least killifish, Heterandria formosa. And these are the world's smallest live-bearing fish, and they're a Florida native. And, you know, finding a fish that you can keep in like schools and like a 2-gallon aquarium, you know, it's definitely a challenge, especially if you're dealing with hard water systems. Okay, so this is why I think it's really the perfect fish for hard water systems if you have a small little aquarium like these. So here you have two different 2-gallon aquariums. You know, one's kind of your standard rectangular shape on the right, and then one is the hex shape, which I don't really see very many of these around anymore. This is actually an old one I had. And this one, this has the old style screw-in power compact bulb, and this one has a LED strip light. Okay, so I'm just using old equipment that I had when I set these up. I didn't want to purchase hardly anything if I could avoid it, so I kept these cheap. And I'm using primarily water lettuce, floating water lettuce, in both tanks for plant life, and just some cheap aquarium gravel and small sponge filters. And I don't clean these too much, as you can probably tell. They're a little dirty looking, but I don't really attempt to try to keep things pristine looking. You know, it's a more natural type of environment. And the fish have been doing well. I've been having these set up for about, what, 8 or 9 months now. I probably just vacuum it and do major water change maybe once a month for these 2 tanks. So as you can see, these fish, they don't school like, you know, where they all come together and swim together in unison. Okay, but you know, you can have a lot of them in the tank with you. And really the best, I think, things that go with them, you might see some freshwater ghost shrimp swimming around there. Those make really interesting companions for them in there. So those go well. They don't bother each other. Works well. The least killifish probably get to eat some of the fry of the shrimp when they have babies, because, you know, I often see them egged up in there. So these fish, you know, they're pretty calm, relaxing swimmers. They don't chase each other much at all. The males might chase each other a little bit, but they don't overdo it. So they're a real relaxing little fish for a small 2-gallon type of an aquarium. I catch these wild, you know, most of these have been born in captivity. Maybe some of the larger ones would probably be wild caught. I usually catch these, and they're in very shallow water right next to shore, right where I find water lettuce, or you find any other kind of vegetation. And that's true of about all the Florida natives I have in my aquariums. They're in very shallow water, but these seem to be much more prevalent right next to the shoreline, in the shallowest of the water. You know, 6 inches or less, 6 inches to a foot of water at the most. Usually not even a foot deep. They don't seem to even like water that deep. So that's why these kind of aquariums are perfectly suited for them. And you know, you can have a lot of them in. This one probably has a dozen fish in there. Now most of them are not adults. I think there's 1 adult in there. There's probably a couple males in there that are adults, but there's only 1 adult female and some sub-adult females and a lot of juveniles. And same thing in here. There's a large adult female right there. And there's some sub-adult females, and there's probably 1 or 2 full-grown males in there, which get less than an inch. So very easy to take care of. I just feed them flake, but they would eat virtually anything. You do see them often feeding off of the filter. They'll go over to the filter and nibble off of that as well. So that's a food source for them. I'm not sure if they eat algae or plants at all. They probably eat a little bit of algae, but nothing where it's going to make much of a difference. So it's good to have snails in there, and I do have some Colombian striped snails in there, along with the ghost shrimp. So I think it makes a nice, interesting little miniature community tank. I don't know what else I would put in there that's a good hard water type of fish in a small 2-gallon like this. So I think it makes a good good little tank like this with the plants. You know, you can certainly use other plants. They don't have to be floating plants. But I like using what I have. I don't like having to buy plants or mess with really taking care of them. The floating water lettuce seems to do pretty well in here. Although the water lettuce does seem to like these power compact bulbs better than the LED strip lights, like I said. They seem to do better. I rarely have to replace the water lettuce in this tank since I switched it over to the power compact bulb. Okay, so I do occasionally sell these, so I'll have a link on eBay. I sell the plants also on Etsy, the water lettuce plants, to states that allow me to ship them there anyway. So there will be links if you want to support the channel and you're interested in these fish. These are the ones I have listed the most often, because since they are live bearers, you know, they're making babies constantly. And if I do run low, I know I have a collecting spot where I can almost always get more if my supply is running low. Alright, so if you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know, and I'll try to get back to you. See you later. So we'll just have a minute or so of quiet so you can watch both tanks and watch what's going on.